I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. I'm just looking at. We're here. I've got no energy, boys. I just said it on my live stream that I just don't have the energy to scream. Because I'm used to this shit. I'm immune to this shit, to this rubbish, week in, week out, after having spent £450 million. Look who we got. We were all going crazy playing FIFA manager, this and that, but it doesn't matter which players that you get. You have to have a manager to be able to integrate them players into a system. And when you don't have the system, you need to make sure that whenever they cross that line, you need to make them believe that even things are not going right, you've got the confidence. And we all said it. We all said it, guys, that we're not expecting 5-0. We have to do the basics right. But you know what? If you think that this manager is going to turn it around after the Forest game, then you're in cloud cuckoo land. Just watch tonight. Look at those faces. Look, don't forget the players. Just look at that manager. He's broken. He's lost. He doesn't have a clue. And lads, I'm going to utter those 2 words tonight. It's over. It's over.
I thought you were going to say slot out, but it's over.
I said that last week.
Yeah. I can't believe what I've just watched, to be honest. You know, I say again, it large parts of that game we played really decent football, but for too many times in the game made too many basic errors and too many mistakes, and we got punished. You know, and they're not even a world-class team or anything. They're just a really good team who play good football, and they've at crucial moments they've taken us apart and they've beaten us 4-1 at Anfield. And as I say, I've been saying it all season, along with a lot of people. It just feels like, now we're in a position where I honestly don't know what else can be done other than changing the manager at this point. I just feel like they look so broken and so lost that what's the worst that can happen? You might as well try it, because you don't see how this turns round. You just don't see how this turns round. And, I'm sure we'll dig deep into it over the coming days, but you just feel now we're approaching a point where it's like something needs to happen, and you can't sack all the players, even though I'd like to sack half of them at the moment. But it's a catalogue of errors, and it's a domino effect that's just getting worse and worse and spiralling more and more out of control. And I feel as though at this point, then the only way is to do a hard reset and change the manager. And if that's what has to be done, then that's what has to be done. It just feels like it can't get any worse.
It can't get any worse, Gene. So what are we waiting for?
I don't know. We've been saying it. I've been saying this since the United game, and I've mentioned it numerous times, that this Liverpool team isn't changing. You are not going to see this Liverpool team change. You're not going to see this team start performing, because the players that are on shore, the players that are disposable. I don't even know the words anymore.
Disposal, man.
Yeah. Are just not with it. The players that we've got are not good enough. The manager just doesn't have a clue what he's doing. We had a summer where we lauded, thinking we bought the right players. Slot probably knows what he's doing, but I think within the first few games, even though we won them first few games, we thought, you know what, we got away with it. This is what champions do, but this is not what champions do. The champions don't go and lose 8-9 games out of 12. That's not what champions do. That's what relegation battlers do, and that's not even. And to be fair, if a relegation team had lost 8 or 9 of their 12-13 games, their manager would have got the sack by now, if I'm honest with you. That manager's gone. And this is it. Look, I wanted him gone at the Nottingham Forest game. I had people in my DMs giving me so much shit. You're not a fucking proper fan. What sort of fan are you? Back the team, support the team. Well, I do support the team. I do back the team. And guess what happens? I'm proven right. We got our asses handed to us by a team from fucking Netherlands, right? Who, before the game, and Avi mentioned it, all of us three yesterday were told, do we know one player from this team? And guess what? We didn't know one. We had to Google it, and Ivan Perisic came up, a 36-year-old who's played across half of Europe in all his career. That's the only player we knew about, and I think Dest was probably one that we remember from Barcelona, right? Which he was half shit. We got battered. Let me get that right. Let me say it again to you. Battered. 4-1 at Anfield. That's 10 goals conceded in 3 games. 10 goals in 3 games. Our defense is a frigging liability. We are shit. Get this in your thick skulls. The guys that were giving me shit. We're shit right now. We need a change at this football club. And I'm done with him. I didn't want to go. I was actually positive, Ben, on that stream yesterday. I said, you know what, Ben? Before we went on, what were the first words I said? I said, Ben, you know what? Please, let's go into this stream. I don't want to be negative. I want to be positive. Let's go. You know what? Let's try and egg it on. And hopefully PSV will get a win. But you know what? No.
Yeah. We all started this evening as well, fully expecting us to win the game as well.
Ben, 6 minutes in, we had a guy, our captain, play fucking basketball, thinking he's LeBron James. 6 minutes in, Van Dijk has never done anything like that, and the guy's playing basketball, bro, on a fucking football pitch. Come on, man. We're struggling. We need our captain to stand up and give us something. He's there playing basketball. Van Dijk was absolute dog shit today. Kanate, you know what? It's me and you flipping jinxed him, Ben.
Yeah, playing all right.
We were playing all right.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing for the 4th goal.
And then just completely takes his eye off the ball and they're in.
I'm sick of this, man. I've had enough of this team, mate. I've had enough of this team. I've had enough of this manager. He has to go. He has to go. There's no other way. And I'm telling you right now, if he plays against West Ham, we are going to go get beat against whoever we play right now, especially if it's an away fixture. We're getting our asses handed to us by the away. I'm telling you, they're going to give our asses on our plate. I'm sick of it, man. Get him gone and move on and try and put this right, because our season's gone tits up.
I'm just worried that whoever is the manager on Sunday, is the performance going to be any different? I really don't know. I genuinely don't know. I feel like at this moment in time, you could put flipping Pep in charge of this team and nothing would change, because they're just fundamentally all over the place.
No, I disagree, Ben.
Do you reckon that somebody would make a big difference? Just
you know what? I need my manager to grab a fucking player like this and say, you know what? You're my fucking player.
Yeah.
Put fucking some belief in that player.
Yeah.
Send him on that fucking pitch and believe in him. I want that manager to go out of his comfort zone, Ben. I want to see something different from this manager. All I see is him just fucking sat there doing fuck all. Do something different. Yeah. That's what Pep Guardiola does. He doesn't even have a scream at his own players. He screams at the other opposition players. If he's got a problem, he has the cojones. He's got a reputation. He's got the credibility to go and say, you know what? I've got a problem with you. You did this on the pitch today. What does Arne Slot do? Nothing. So you're telling me another manager can't make a difference?
I don't know, mate. I have no idea.
And you know, Ben, you know another thing that's 100% absolute madness to me, yeah? And I will never get it. I just don't get it. Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah in that game, I don't think they did anything amazing or special. I think there was one man on that football pitch today who gave us everything and left everything on that pitch. Sorry, and that was Dominic Szoboszlai, right? I tweeted before the game saying, what is Cody Gakpo?
Turn that. I don't want to look at him. You turn that TV off, man. Turn it off.
Yeah, I tweeted at the start of the game saying, Cody Gakpo must be Arne Slot's son, that he starts every single game. So guess what happens? He starts him, all right. He starts him. 50, 60 gone. You have to make a change. You have to go and bring on somebody called Federico Chiesa. He doesn't do it. The minute we go 3-1 down, the guy has the audacity to go and bring him on then and say, you know what, Fede, a guy that I don't trust, go and make a fucking difference now. Go and get us 3 goals. That is up. You know what? They piss me off because you're throwing him into the deep end saying, go and save my ass. Yeah, when you haven't trusted him all season, you haven't trusted him for a season and last season, this season, and now you expect him to go and make a difference. You think that guy's gonna fucking play for you?
it's
And
just,
still he tried to do his thing, but obviously it wasn't going to work out. We're already 3-1 down. Man expected him to go and make a difference then. It really pissed me off that the guy does this. It's wrong of him to do that, you know. It's wrong of him to go and put a player on and say, you know what, go and make a difference now. Now we're 3-1 down when you couldn't trust him all frigging season. I'm sick of him, man. Honestly, I'm sick of this team right now, Ben. I'm done with them, bro. I'm like literally done with them.
Ben, can you get me that quotation up? Before we went live, you said Stevie G said this is not a crisis. Like, can you confirm that?
well, that was what somebody had just put in one of our WhatsApp groups when he was speaking, and obviously it was on mute. So I don't know whether or not it's been quoted.
Well, I've got Curtis Jones. I don't know what Curtis Jones has said. Curtis Jones has said something. As of now, we're in the shit and it needs to change. Yeah, we still have the badge on our chest. Until the badge goes, we're going to fight and try and get this team back to where it needs to be and show why Liverpool are the best team in the world. Well, we're fucking not the best team in the world. Unacceptable. I don't even have words. I'm past being angry and sad. I don't have the words. I'm a player and a fan. I haven't experienced a team playing this bad. Yeah?
Yeah, no, I can't. We'll have to have a little route to see whether it was said.
Honestly, I want to be positive about the reaction of the players after we went 1-0 down, because of until half-time we played a good game. The only way to go is to go through. We have to face where we are in fight and really hard. But the problem with this manager now, guys, is he's not giving the players the right environment to fight. No. You expecting them to fight at 1-0 down.
No,
I want them to fight from minute one. Minute one, and by giving them a style to say, you know what, you've got a fair chance at creating the approach and putting your stamping your authority on the game. Yeah. But at the moment, just exactly what we were talking about last night, Ben, is that this manager now has sort of proper taken everything out of the players in terms of confidence and in terms of belief, that they just look dead on the pitch. They're starved, and you have to put that you have to caveat every single thing that we say tonight about the players, that they are short of confidence. There's no doubt about that. But the belief, I call this manager a genius. And you know what? I take that back after a year. That, you know what? Yes, he did things right. But you know what? Every single thing was going for him last season. He had the players to mask a lot of deficiencies. We've talked about it. But right now, Ben, he needs to do something different.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
He has to do something different. What is he doing? He's a dead man walking at the moment.
Yeah.
Any other club, Ben, any other club in the Premier League would sack him by now. And you know what? The reason why they're not doing it is because he's their man.
Yeah. Well,
he's their man.
Well, yeah.
We were told that we didn't want Alonso. We didn't want Amorim. Yeah. We didn't even give him an opportunity. We didn't even get him off the train to come up to Liverpool for an interview because we wanted Arne Slot all the time. And you think they're going to sack him?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I think that's the only thing that can happen at this moment in time. I don't think anything else is going to change unless we do make a change in the manager. I don't like the idea of comparing last season, saying, you know, he was all looking at. We should just separate last season.
Yeah,
he done brilliant last season.
Of course,
he won the league last season. We need to be given a huge amount of credit, but it takes a different type of manager. I think it's pretty clear. It takes a different type of personality to fix what is happening at this moment in time. And the truly great managers can do everything. They've got the motivation, they've got the tacticians, they've got the man management, and maybe Arne Slot is a really, really good coach, but this is just, it feels like it's one step too far for him now, and you need a personality. And I've said it a few times, I think the only person, realistically, who can get us going again now is Klopp. That's the only one for me. If they go and make a change now and they bring in Areola or Glasner or something, I just think I can't see them having the personality to be able to take this huge, huge football club from quite possibly the worst position it's been in Premier League history. You know, considering the squad that he's got available to him, and just go, right, okay, click your fingers, and we're all just going to start playing brilliant again. It needs, as you say, it needs somebody to grab them, and a personality and an energy and an enthusiasm to say, listen guys, you know, let's get up off our feet and let's start playing like champions again, because you know, the word's broken, the word's lost, the word's completely gone. It's just, you know, and even the little snippets that we're watching now, the snippets where they do good stuff, it's like for every one good movement or moment, then there's 2 or 3 mistakes or something, and it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy where they just can't get going, and they just can't get themselves out of the rut. And as I say, something does need to change, and I think realistically, the board were never considering Arne Slot's position up until maybe a couple of weeks ago. But I think the last 2 weeks, especially Forest and tonight, they might be thinking, you know what, it might be best for everybody. But you know, they need to have a plan for who's going to come in, because you know, if they start doing interims and they start doing stopgaps and stuff, then you just feel like that's just going to be, you know, disaster, because all of a sudden we could have a bounce for a couple of games and then be right back where we started and be, you know, in another 10 games time. So it's got to be a thought out decision.
Got a super chat. We do thank you so much. 3 weeks ago I defended Slot. I can't even speak. You know what? I'm shaking.
You probably nearly burst the blood vessel. That's why
I'm shaking because I'm angry.
Yeah, I know. We're all angry, aren't we? You know, we're all.
We can't believe what we're saying, man.
I know. I'm sad.
I defended
as much as
Slot,
angry, to be honest.
shaking my head, liked Slot a lot, but it's clear the players don't respect him, and if he can't lead, he can't be there. Slot out. This is the problem, Gene. Yet last year, the players had a good start. They were confident, and whatever thing that it was passive about Liverpool, it got masked, and we got away with it. We saw it in bits. Against Chelsea was one of the games. Against PSG away, even later on in the season, there was a few more games as well, even at home and away against Chelsea last season. Maresca had his number. There was a few other managers. Brighton in the first half, we looked a bit dodgy, but we came out of that. And Salah got him out of trouble. Salah won us the league. Make no mistake about it. There was a lot of players who performed really at a high standard. But Salah won us the league. But now, Gene, we just don't even have those players. Last year, we were talking about last night, that when he wanted to be a Jurgen Klopp side, whether it was the Anfield crowd that took over the occasion, whether it's a Premier League game, whether it's a Champions League game, it took over the crowd, it took over the game, and we blitzed teams. We got 2-3 goals. We came around, and then his changes were highlighted. Credit to him, he made those changes, but ultimately had the players on the pitch. But now, whether it's a Slot and Richard Hughes, and look, we praised him. I took bloody selfies with him in the summer and said, this is our sporting director. There has been the biggest oversight in terms of how you profile a player, in terms of what you need in that team at that given point, and how you integrate. Integrating is on the manager. The profile of playing is on the manager, plus Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. And you know what? I want to hear from him now. Where is Michael Edwards? Where is Richard Hughes? The only time I saw Richard Hughes was when he was sat with Arne Slot, when the decision was made to bring him in at the club. And that's it. It's easy taking selfies. You're telling me he'd take a selfie with me now? What the hell? He'd tell me to do one. But the problem is now, is we've got a load of players who are good players who look absolute shite. I call Conor Bradley a Division 1 player. You know what? I'll say sorry to him, because these lot tonight look like Division 2 players.
This is a bizarre statement. I'm just reading this now. This is from Slot. I constantly felt in the second half, what's wrong with Hugo? It felt like he couldn't move like he did in the first half. That's why our press was a bit off. He just told me in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the first half, he felt his back too much, and that's why he had to go out.
Oh yeah, stop using these excuses,
like,
man. Come on, man.
It's like,
I'm not buying
read that
bullshit,
again. Read
bro.
that again. I didn't.
So I constantly felt what's wrong with Hugo. It felt like he couldn't move like he did in the first half. That's why our press was a bit off. He just told me in the first 5-10 minutes of the first half, he felt his back too much, and that's why he had to go out. So to me, it's like, that's a conversation that should stay in the dressing room. So he's basically saying, like, he's digging out Ekitike there and saying to him, he's lied to me, and he's not admitted that he had an injury. But it's like, again, that's like a desperation statement for me. In that, why is he feeling like he needs to say that in public?
To let everybody know that, our press was shit today.
Because
Hugo
was injured.
No, it was shit. That's bullshit. Our press has been shit all fucking season.
Yeah.
So let's blame a little spasm.
So if he'd have been honest, Ekitike, what would he done? Subbed him off and then put Kies or whoever else on? But it's like, but even if that is the case, it's like you have that conversation with him in the dressing room, and you don't come out and say in public that what's that again. That just. I think we're in.
That is absolute bullshit.
I think
you know what? Sorry, Arnie. A bit off. Your press is off is because of your passive bullshit that we've been seeing for 12 months. And I've been talking about it, how players masked it. Nunes, Jota, Diaz. These sort of players masked that passive bullshit.
TK is the presser by nature.
Your press isn't shit because he's got a niggle. Your press is shit because you're not giving the team the environment and the fair chances to win the ball. You're playing PSV, not PSG. PSV tonight, Ben, and we're still not going man-to-man. No. And are you surprised how easy it was for PSG just to pass it around us? Gene, all 90 minutes was kept on saying, how do these guys look like Barcelona? Playing like Busquets and Xavi and Iniesta around us, popping it off us. And it only took... like the 70th minute when we started tackling like we should. It's the same old shit. Passive press, half-hearted. And the reason why I'm not surprised he's injured after 60, 70 minutes is because he's the only one from a settled play. And then the only guy who follows him is Dominic Szoboszlai. But the structure, the way you put your team out is the reason why you teams find it so easy. This was PSV tonight. It was Palace. It was Nottingham Forest. Every single team, whenever we set up against them in a half-hearted press, they play around us like they are Barcelona. So it's not on Hugo Ekitike. Don't blame Ekitike tonight. Don't make him the scapegoat. Don't make his hamstring or whatever it is the scapegoat. The scapegoat is you, Arnie Slot. That's why we're shit. And that's why we don't win the ball high up the field. So that is just stinks. It stinks and it's deflecting from the fact that you've got it wrong from day one. Day one.
It's a desperate comment, though. Really
it's a complete. This is it's all total bollocks. Your press, as since mentioned, your press has been shit all season. We can't press for shit. We haven't got the players to press for shit. I've mentioned it today and I'll mention it again. The only player today, Ben, that I honestly, I dread to think what this team would look like if we didn't have Dominic Szoboszlai on this pitch, because he's the only player that tries. Yeah. He's the only player that runs. He tries his best. He does whatever he can. And guess what? He was the player that wasn't even supposed to play this season.
Yeah, and as Asim said earlier, he was the one who was probably the top of the list to be out the team.
There you go. Yeah. And he wasn't even supposed to be playing.
On the team sheet.
He's number one on the team sheet. And you know what? There's players at this football club right now that are done, mate. Yeah. The big boys are done, mate. The likes of Salah, the likes of Van Dijk,
really worried about Virgil
tonight. Look, Salah's been a bit shit, if I'm honest with you, for most of the season. Yeah. Right?
Looks tired, Van Dijk. Looks
and
really
when I looked
tired.
at Van Dijk, he was maybe the one that he probably thought had a couple of good games. You thought, oh, he's all right. Yeah. For the last few games, mate, but today he was fucking shite. Yeah. Ibu Kanate was keeping his own the game at the back until he made his mistake.
Yeah.
Ebook, and this is crazy because he actually had a good game up until that lackadaisical moment when he has to go and do something ridiculously stupid, miss the ball, and then they score. Van Dijk would blame him for the first goal. Third, fourth goal, mate, he didn't even follow his man. So passive, mate. Really? And he's been like that all season. So many of these players, they're done. They need somebody else to come in and get this team going again, because right now, mate, we're a million miles away from anywhere near being good enough, mate. And when I was saying I want Arne Slot gone, because this was the reason I wanted it, because I had a feeling that we're not going to make the Champions League place, and I can accept anything, but I cannot accept my team being missing on the Champions League, because that's going to set us back 3 years. We've been lucky in the past. We had Jurgen Klopp. It worked out for us. We knew where we were going. We accepted it, because you know what, Jurgen, we knew he could do it. We don't know the next man if he's going to be good enough to do it, John.
That's a great point. That we can have a poor season, and all teams can have a poor season. City had a poor season last season. Arsenal have been runners up 2-3 times. City had a poor season last season, and they still rallied and finished third. Liverpool cannot drop out of the Champions League because that would really set us back.
Klopp,
So what do
Klopp
we do?
did the same in the COVID season.
Yeah.
We were down and out. I
managed
think
to
we
get
won
top
around
four.
about 6 out of 8 or 7 out of 8.
That was the Alisson header.
Yeah,
against
yeah,
West
Yeah,
Brom.
we won at Old Trafford. Thiago.
Yeah.
Thiago played brilliant in those games, and we got. Did we get top 4?
Yeah,
in the end.
we got
just
top
made it.
Okay, guys, what are your thoughts about what should happen? What would you like to happen now? If we all make the assumption now, and we all make the thing that enough is enough, and if they do make the decision to relieve Klopp of his duties,
No, Ben.
slot of his duties,
You know what,
do we
Ben?
do?
You know what, Ben? Look, it's a proper fairy tale story, isn't it? Klopp coming back and this and that. And I have to be honest, 3-4 weeks ago, I wasn't a fan of it because I'm never a fan of even players going back. You know, like Robbie Fowler and Thierry Henry and all these guys went back. It never works out. It sells a few shirts, a fairy tale story. But you know, the more I see this Liverpool team playing under this manager, I'm all up for it.
Yeah.
And I believe even Jurgen Klopp doesn't even have those players that he really wants.
No.
The ones that we lost in the summer.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have no doubt that he'll get more out of this team than what Arne Slot is doing right now. And that is good enough for me.
I know we're speculating, but do you think there's any sort of awkwardness from Slot in the fact that, sorry, not Slot, from Klopp in that, do you think he would even hesitate, or do you think he would be reluctant to, given the circumstances, or do we think he just, if the call comes, he'd be on the first plane? What do we think? Do you think he's looking? Because I've personally, again, I have no idea, but I can't imagine that he's not in contact with some of the players.
He is.
What's
He
been
will
going
be.
on.
He will be.
I'm sure he will have. So the players won't. I can't imagine that the players are saying, "Come on, Arnie, come on, Jurgen, come back and save us," because it's almost a little bit of a, well, the players. Where's your own pride? Where's your own sort of self-esteem? This manager, regardless of where he's at now, he helped you to become title winners last season. So it leaves a bit of a sour taste, if you know what I mean.
The only thing I would say, Ben, like, I think if we have to go around the table, we have to ask every single Liverpool fan. I think the majority would take him and will want him to come and turn this team around. Not go to from wherever. Are we about 13th in the Premier League? I don't give a crap at the moment.
Like that,
we're not expecting him to come in.
Thankfully, we haven't dropped down any
But
further tonight.
what I will say, and I think we need to remind ourselves is, one, these guys won't sack Arne Slot straight away unless it gets. I know it's really, really desperate.
It can't really get much worse, can it?
I know, but in their eyes it can.
Yeah.
In their eyes it can. But the point I think we haven't mentioned is, I don't think they'll take Jurgen Klopp back because of the relationship that he had with Michael Edwards.
Yeah, no, that's the other thought.
I can't see that happening.
I almost feel as though if it was to happen, then it would be the end of the second era of Edwards, or it would be, I don't know, though, the only other caveat with that is that Edwards is now head of FSG football, isn't he? He's not directly, it's Richard Hughes's
True,
set up now, and I suppose there could be a clean relationship with Klopp. He did say in his interview a month or so ago that he hasn't worked with Richard Hughes before, but he knows he's like a really good man. So it was almost like setting the stall out a little bit, that it would be a slightly more distanced relationship with Edwards. But the other factor, I think, as well, is that, you're right, you say it would have to get to a desperation stakes, but you get to a point where Klopp he can't come in and say, right, you're winning the next 15 games. He needs a bit of time to sort it out, and he probably needs the January window himself, realistically. So you almost feel as though you're either doing it before January or you're not doing it at all, because I don't see the logic of bringing 2, maybe even 3 players in January if you don't even know if Slot's the manager, because those players will be coming surely under the assumption that they know who the manager is and where they're going to be part of the team. I'm not saying that Klopp's going to say, I don't want Gueye or I don't want Semenyo, but you know what I mean? It's like there needs to be some sort of plan.
Well, look, like when Arne Slot comes out with these sort of comments and tries to say, look, I'm not saying a niggle is not going to affect the structure of the team or in terms of the intensity of the team. That's the right word. But look, you're on bloody TV. Where are these tough questions?
Yeah.
On TV. Yeah. You're on TNT Sports, you're on Sky Sports. I want those guys behind the mic saying, okay, you know what? Yes, I accept that it might be Hugo Ekitike down to a niggle. But what about the other games?
Yeah.
What about the last 2-3 games?
Yeah, but that-
Liverpool don't win high turnovers anymore.
No.
One of the reasons why is teams go long against us. Whether it's in desperation when we do a bit of a decent press, most times it's on their terms. But why aren't they asking him these questions? Are you shit scared to ask a question, for God's sake?
No.
Or do you just simply don't know?
But then the thing about Ekitike as well, I'd look into it even deeper and say, being realistic, it's like, why is Ekitike feeling though he's basically thinking to himself, well, I'm going to play regardless of being fit or not, and he hasn't got the confidence or the belief in his manager or the trust of his manager to be honest and say, listen, I'm not right, because he's thinking, well, if I drop out, then Isaac's going to take my position. So it's like the chemistry and the trust and the balance and the cohesion between the group is fractured in different areas of the pitch. And, you know, he's got too many fires to put out. And you almost feel as though Jürgen, with his personality and with his presence and with his character, he'd come in and say, right, reset, guys, just run. Just like he did when he first arrived against Tottenham. It was like, just run for me, and just let's build it again. Because you are starting to see now a lot more fans, I think, who are saying, maybe we do need a change, because Liverpool fans are very loyal and they will back the manager to the hilt. And there's a couple of comments there saying that there was a bit of booing at the end. And
Was it?
Yeah, and I do think, generally speaking, a Champions League crowd is not necessarily the same as a Premier League crowd, because you get a lot of randoms in and stuff, don't you? So you can't necessarily judge it. But you do start to see, like, I'm seeing friends or people who I respect, you know, good pundits or big long-time fans who are like, you know what, I really back Slot and I want him to do well. But you almost get to the point where 9 out of 12, well, what else can you do? And we said it, we can't
9
sack
out of 12.
You know, I'd sack Canate tomorrow, the way that he's been this season, but you can't do that. It just doesn't, that's not how football works, is it? And the only fall guy is the manager. And I think Edwards and Hughes will have to sit there, and if they do give him his P45, they'll have to do it with a huge piece of humble pie, because they're part of this as well, because they've given him an unbalanced squad. And it's remarkable that we're saying that, because we have spent what we've spent, but it's clear to see whoever comes in still needs 3, 4, 5 players to make this a proper team again.
That's my next question, Ben. With how desperate the situation, I'm quoting you. The situation can't get any worse. Does he get till January? Does he get a window?
I would have said right up until possibly tonight, to be honest. And we are reacting live, to be honest. Maybe I'll sleep and I'll think, you know what, it's daft again tomorrow. But I really am now. I'm trying to be as level-headed as possible. I'm trying to be as open and honest as possible. I think the only fix now is to replace him. I genuinely do. I'm not even uttering the word Slot out, because it just feels really ugly to say that, because the man delivered us a title last season, and it's the same players who played out the skin for us last season. So I'm completely and utterly taking huge respect of what he done last season. But we're at such a point now and such a black hole that you
Does he have to resign then?
yeah, I almost feel like it's becoming untenable. The position is becoming untenable. It's not about sacking him and saying you're not good enough, because he's clearly a top coach, because he won the league for us last season with some really clever, smart changes. But this season has just been, from the beginning of the season right the way to now, it's been, you know, a dishwasher, and we can't drag ourselves out. And the only way you do it is empty all the water and start again.
Gene, can you see him resigning?
He's not resigning. I can't see him resign. We're gonna have to get rid of him.
Which
manager resigns?
How do you see the next 2-3 days? Can you see Liverpool's hierarchy coming out? That dreaded vote of confidence?
Yeah, I feel like
We're waiting for that, aren't we?
yeah.
Oh, you lose it in a Premier League game with West Ham, it'll be curtains for him.
I almost feel like normally in these situations, the vibe or the input of the players will be quite significant. Like, I don't think for one second that Virgil will be saying we need to change. I think he'll be angry and say we need to fix it. But it's almost beyond the players and beyond the manager to say, somebody just says, you know what, we just need it. It's not even like we don't think you're good enough. It's just like the situation's so bad that we just need a fresh start, and it might be the best for everybody. But who knows? You know, Liverpool are stubborn. in lots and lots of ways. How many times have we been on the last day of a transfer window where we've like, why haven't you bought this player? Why haven't you done this? Or why haven't you done that? And they've waited 12 months or they've waited 6 months because they wait for the player who they really want.
Can we wait?
And I don't
my
know.
biggest issue, John, and people
don't even
need to
think-
understand is I want to get the bare minimum is the Champions League.
So that
the
makes
bare minimum.
So that makes me think the only solution that would make sense would be Jurgen if he says yes. And if he says no, he said this is not the right time for me. I almost think, well, you might as well stick with Slot then, because I don't know who else would have enough time to be able to make a significant change at this moment.
I honestly look. There are managers.
I genuinely don't know who else.
People might not like my pick, but right now, if somebody came in, and he's available, is Xavi Hernandez. I think if he came in, I think he does a really, really good job with his team.
How's his English?
It's all right. It must be all right.
To be fair, might as well speak to them in Spanish at the moment.
Yeah, most of the Lord is fine. But I'm telling you, I think Xavi Hernandez would do a really, really good job. That's if it's a manager that you want who's available right now. You know, big club. He's a big personality. He plays the right way. Barcelona born and bred. He understands the game inside out. I know you had to spell at Barcelona. He won a title there as well when they weren't that great. When he won the title at Barcelona, Real Madrid were on the up. He came and he actually won them a title after a couple of years because they never won it.
I think he's a great coach, clearly. I just feel as though what the scenario to fix this is like deep-rooted motivation, isn't it? And I don't know whether or not a guy who's never been in the Premier League and whose his first language is not English has that natural motivation. That's why, as I say, I just keep coming back to Jurgen to say, who else can fix this?
Let's go to a few super chats. Roshi 98, thank you so much. He says Klopp can do it via Zoom for all I care. Slot out. Scrolling down, Emmy, we missed a super chat from you yesterday. We went off stream and it came through in backstage, so I didn't take a screenshot of that, so I do apologize. I think he said something similar to what you've just sent now. He says, Asim, I told you we lose against PSV. He lost the dressing room at Brentford, Madrid and Villa masked the problem. Madrid and Villa masked the problem. This is a system issue, not players. Andy Talks, I think it's meant to say, Slot is afraid to drop Salah for Chiesa or Frimpong. Well, Frimpong's not in the squad, Andy. He's got dodgy hamstrings. We were told that he's so robust and he doesn't get injured. In a couple of games in the Premier League, he's got two hamstring injuries. So I don't think that's Slot's fault.
No.
That's a Frimpong problem. Big up for the super chat. Thank you so much for sending this through. Look, we're angry people, and I feel a bit bad for asking for subscriptions and likes, but we're in the YouTube game, and when we see a lot of people in the building, we'll know there'll be new people. So smash a like just for our work rate. Smash a like for Ben coming over from Liverpool, staying in Leeds, flying over from Leeds, and talking to you guys at 11 o'clock in the evening. So just for that reason, and maybe smash a like for Szoboszlai's performance and grit and determination and desire. He deserves a like. So it goes a long way in supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Do we get some answers? Do we get something from Liverpool? Everyone is calling out for a club statement of some sort, a communication. Tell the fans where are we at, what are we thinking? Because at the moment last week, Ben, all we heard is sources close to the club are saying that this manager has got a lot of belief. But you know what? We don't want to listen to them people. We don't want to hear it from them people. We want to hear it from the people that brought this manager in. What is it? What is the sense of direction right now?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
I keep saying it, you know, I think the only option is Jurgen, but then I'm thinking it in my head. I'm thinking to myself, Brendan Rodgers was there, and you know, he was poor after the season where he nearly won the league, and they give him an entire full season before they finally parted ways with him. You know, 7 or 8 games into the following season before they let him go, and I feel as though they did that then because Jurgen Klopp became available, and it makes me think that realistically the only reason why they would get rid of Slot is if they have somebody who they believe will be the right replacement, the correct replacement. And I don't know who that is, and I don't know whether there's anybody out there who they really want, who's available at this moment in time. We're talking about this weekend sort of thing, doing it right now, and I just think it'd just be completely and utterly out of character to do that. But the results are completely and utterly horrific, like unprecedented results.
These quotations keep coming through from Arne Slot. It looks like he's talking to Liverpool TV and quite a few channels across the world. This is a shock. This is very unexpected. If you look at the quality that we have, is it a lack of confidence? I didn't see that in the first half. What game are you watching? What game are you watching? Come on. It's hard when you concede, but it's not the mentality that these players have shown so many times since I'm here.
But again, a little drop on the players at the end. The comments, that last sentence there, this is not the mentality. So in other words, the players, they were fine last season, but this season they're not. So again, it's like he's putting it on them as well.
A few more super chats, I think.
On a slot, asked if he is worried about his job. No, I am not worried. My focus is on other things other than worrying about my own position. I need to do better.
Muhammad Kibriya, big up Muhammad, always supporting the channel, one of the OGs. Was here from day dot. Take the slot frame off the wall. Where's the slot frame? Oh, there. That's a Champions one. That's not a slot one. And put Klopp's on.
No,
I can't even see it.
he's got slots for it. When the Champions, that's the Champions.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Flipping heck.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Now, next 5 minutes, I know Ben that needs to go. How do we look forward?
Man. I can't.
How do we
right
look
now,
forward
I'm
to
just
West Ham?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know.
But you know what? I think against West Ham, we all been calling it for calling changes. But I think he's got no choice now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got a choice now.
If you expect to stay in the job, then there's got to be radical changes now. Like, I don't care no more.
He's got no choice, Ben.
I'd say Chiesa and Endo should be first on the team sheet on Sunday. And that might sound ridiculous, but I'm almost thinking to yourself, well, why are they even in the squad? Because at what point do they play? Are you basically saying they only play if everybody else is injured? And that shouldn't be the case, should it, really? Even though we know that they're not the long-term solution, you need fresh mentality. Because surely if they haven't been playing, they're not mentally broke like the players that are playing. So it's like, play fresh players. Play flipping Trey Onye or somebody in midfield, a lad who's going to just run round like a lunatic for 90 minutes, who's fearless because he's a kid. Just do anything. Just look like you're willing to try. Play five at the back, swallow your pride, and pack the defence and say, we are not conceding a goal.
How's he got... Look,
whatever.
I'm all up for something different, but just like literally, going back to a back five, it takes time to learn the system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what we're saying, we must do something different. But then,
what I'm saying is, I think 2-3 players need to come into that team. I was never a fan of Ekatike and Isak up top and all that sort of stuff.
I think there's
definitely. But I think you have to see something now because this is clearly gone now.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, so he's injured. I was about to say though, you would consider changing the shape up top, wouldn't you, and saying play two strikers. So
I'll go like a 4-4-2.
Yeah,
simple
like
4-4-2.
Yeah, something.
Well, you can't even do that, and the problem is it hurts. When's he back?
Well, he's not even training yet, is he? So we don't expect him to be back anytime soon. So, he hasn't really got a lot of options, has he?
There's a few people, and I'll take Alex. There's a few comments popping really quickly. It just caught my eye. I don't know how many people are calling for Stevie G to come in as an interim manager. Please, guys, I look at the camera. Don't make me disrespect Stevie G, the legend, the player, the man. But he's just not a Liverpool manager. Not now. He needs a couple of jobs elsewhere to just get back into swing of things. He was looking at the Rangers job and it didn't work out for him. He needs another job to prove himself again and get going in his manager career. And then in 10, 15 years' time, if he's proved that, he's a proper coach, I don't doubt, Stevie G in terms of being a motivator. He led by example, but even he would admit that he is not ready for Liverpool. So don't disrespect and don't just live in delusion that Stevie G, as manager of Liverpool, is the answer for Liverpool right now. I think we need to move away from that, regardless of what we think of the team right now. Total Eclipse with the super chat. Genie is exactly how I feel. It's too far gone. I think we all like that at
Smart.
Total.
Just reading a tweet there, just random fans and stuff saying stuff. This is a really good one, saying there is no available decision that anyone should be happy with. You sack him and you'll be devastated because he's a great man for what he's done in the summer and what he done last
Who
season.
said that?
Just one of my friends. Keep him, and I can't watch this any longer. And then replace him, but with who?
But unfortunately,
And just
Ben,
sort it out.
unfortunately, we're in the football business.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people
no,
don't keep their jobs.
It's cutthroat. Yeah, no,
People
it is.
don't keep their jobs because they're nice people.
I am there now. I am there now. As I say, call me naive, sentimental. I'm so sad because I just think it shouldn't be like this. The guy won us the league last season, and it's like that's all we've craved for in front of fans for 30 years. And now we're at the point where we're basically saying that he's a joke. And it's so sad. It's so sad, and I think there's so many reasons for it. But you're right. This is Liverpool Football Club. This is not like a team that's in a relegation battle. It's a team that needs to start winning football matches. And the bottom line is, any other top elite team in the world who'd been at this run of games, the manager would be gone by now. That's the end of it.
Before we go, I want to ask the chat. There's 900 people here. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Give us a name. You're all agreeing that Slot needs to go tonight. Give us a name that you want to come through that door and take over till the summer or take over from now. Give us a name. I want to see how many people want Klopp, how many people want someone like Xavi. Hassan says Atik in. Atik's always in. Oh, please, man. Ange Ball, I want to close this stream.
That's the end of it.
You know what?
Fabregas, a lot of them, obviously Alonso.
Someone realistic.
Mariola,
I don't think Alonso's realistic.
No. There was a statement come out, wasn't it, from Marca saying that the club are completely behind them. There's a few little rumours that they're not fancying his style, but
Glasner, a few Glasner shouts. Would you take Glasner right now?
He plays a back five, doesn't he?
Yes or no?
No.
Would you take Glasner? I wouldn't take Glasner.
Areola is the up and coming manager. His points under Bournemouth consistently for 3 seasons has been superb, considering what he's got to deal with. He is an up and coming manager. My problem with Areola is I don't think there's that much difference in terms of coaching ability, should we say, between Areola and Slot. So that, but the problem is not. I know we know that there's things that needs to change and whatnot and personnel, but to me, it's the motivation and it's the mentality and it's the inspiration that's needed at the moment. And I don't see Areola as this inspirational figure. His English is quite broken. He's quite reserved. I don't think he would be able to deal with this situation any different to Slot, if I'm being perfectly honest. That's why I feel like we need somebody who's got a huge personality. And that's probably Slot's, major thing, where he is very passive, isn't he? You want to say, just grab him and say, where's the fight, where's the emotion? But he's not that type of guy. But Bob Paisley wasn't that type of guy. And, he did all right. So different managers have different styles, but I just think this crisis now needs an inspirational figure, and for me, if they are making a change, it's only for Jurgen.
Okay, people, there we are. We thought we'd make it a bit different because of the severity of the situation, and we're all keen right now. That's what we are. We thought we won't do fan cams. We'd just come on, get you guys involved as well, and it is a desperate situation. You know what? The desperate situation is that the games are coming thick and fast. But thank you for watching the live stream. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure you'll get Avi on. Will the guys will come back on, and we'll talk more. Because this is some serious situation. About 10 years ago, we had a man come and he turned doubters into believers. Then we had a lad with no hair. He won us the league, but he's turned believers into doubters. Good night. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.